It's a perfect day to go about and get work done and just try to have a productive day. It's still the Super Breakfast Show, I hope you enjoyed the Super Breakfast Sports with Mary J. I'm sure you did, you know. Mary J always tries to strike a balance and give you, just the very best of news and all the information regarding your favorite sports globally. Of course, not excluding Nigerian sports. Good to be here with you. My name is Obi Ivy. So let's quickly look at the stories that have made headlines this morning. Without much ado, rush over to our Instagram page at Super FM 93.3 at Super FM 93.3. But if you just decide to search for Super FM PH, you would straightway be directed to our Instagram page. Leave a comment. I want to take your comment on Instagram, and you can leave yours as well on Facebook at Super FM PH. Okay, so first off this morning, let's look at some of the stories you would find on the front pages. And this first story is about the fact that, let's see, the families of the 41 victims, well, now 37 victims of the Abuja-Kaduna train kidnap, have staged a protest. Well, they were families of the 41 victims, but just hours after the protest, 4 of the victims were released by the bandits, leaving 37 others still held captive. And it's rather unfortunate. Now, exactly 120 days, as at yesterday, after terrorists bombed the AK-9 train conveying hundreds of passengers from Abuja to Kaduna and kidnapping them, families of the remaining 41 persons still in captivity yesterday grounded activities at the Ministry of Transportation are protesting lack of decisive action to rescue their relatives and their relations. And as early as 8 a.m., they were there, and these family members of the victims besieged the Federal Ministry of Transportation headquarters, Abuja, preventing workers, including top management staff, from accessing their offices. And they were there for as long as 4 hours or even more. And they kept faith with their threats, barricading everyone from going. Now, amid the protest, the transportation minister, the ministry said efforts were being made with security agencies to rescue the victims, disclosing also that negotiators had been in the bush for 3 weeks or more over the issue. Now, this story, you would find it on both Vanguard, Punch, This Day, even Cable, the Cable as well, Cable News. So if you're unable to pick up a newspaper, then stay with me. Let's just do a quick tour. Now, don't forget also that the NLC planned protest is scheduled to take place. Everything is set. Lagos is set. Port Harcourt is set as well. And we have our correspondent, Femi Ogunkilede. He's there as well, and we'll be reaching out to him intermittently to get reports. So stay here on your number one family lifestyle, talk and urban radio station, Super 93.3 FM, Port Harcourt. All right, so talking about the strike now, Otom, Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has told his striking ASU Benue State University lecturers to end their sympathy strike or he'll stop paying their salaries. And now in this report in the Vanguard, it says Otom to striking ASU BSU, end sympathy strike or I'll stop your salary. Now, the governor of Benue State on Monday, that was yesterday, threatened to stop paying the salaries of members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU Benue State University branch, if they fail to call off the ongoing sympathy strike with the national body. Now, he noted that the sympathy strike had gone beyond the allowed 3 days and appealed to the lecturers to return back to the classroom in the interest of Benue children. And he spoke in Makurdi while reacting to appeal by parents and students on the striking lecturers to call off the sympathy strike. Noted that he had ensured the prompt payment of the salaries of the striking lecturers despite their action, lamenting that their action was already taking its toll on students and parents. Now, don't forget also that the same policy is in River State as we speak, and it was issued by the River State's Civil Service Commission, head of the civil service, saying the state government will withhold salaries of civil servants who even joined this present strike. So this strike scheduled by the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) in sympathy and solidarity, with ASU and of the situation going on right now. Well, the State Civil Service said civil servants are not permitted to join this protest right now. They are not permitted, otherwise salaries will be withheld. Don't forget that all state institutions of learning are still functioning, have been functioning for a number of years now. So many of the strikes that have gone on since the last 8 years or so have not really affected state universities, except for those that they chose to embark on for internal issues, which also, the state government has also sat down with these, with authorities and with the institutions to try and trash things out. So that's the situation of things as we speak. Speaking about the NLC strike, you know that there are two factions right now of the Nigeria Labour Congress River State chapter. We've got the one wing of Comrade Beatrice Utubo, who is also the Labour Party governorship candidate, River State, and so there's been that back and forth saying she doesn't have a right to be chairing or be commandeering, so to speak, the Nigeria Labour Congress River State chapter, because she's also she's running for governor, and there's no how to not get political about it. And that the NLC has strived to remain apolitical through the years. So we're going to try and see how we can speak to both factions in the course of the morning show. And for as long as the protest lasts today, we're going to try and keep up with reports coming from there. Now, as I said, we have all the stories already posted on our social media. So quickly go to Instagram. I'd like to take some Instagram messages today. So Instagram is at SuperFM 93.3. Just search for us on Instagram and drop your comments in the comment section. Facebook, SuperFM PH. I'll be taking comments, but perhaps I'm going to give more attention to Instagram today. All right, now talking about security now, on ending banditry, this is a report on the Vanguard. It says, don't review national strategy. Stakeholders should pull together and make it work. And this is following the apprehension that has gripped the country over unrelenting activities of murderous bandits and kidnappers. And the deputy commandant of the National Defense College, Major General E.V. Onumajuru, and he has said that there is no need to review the national security strategy, which was activated in 2019. Rather, all stakeholders, including MDAs, the political authorities, CSOs, and security agencies who jointly fashioned the document, must pull together to ensure its implementation for success. Now, he was speaking on activities lined up to mark the 30th anniversary of the NDC, as well as the graduation ceremony of, course 30 of the college. That is the Nigerian Defense College. And he had been asked if, going by the security situation in the country where bandits were terrorizing innocent citizens and getting away, scot-free, if there was need to review the current strategy, the strategic document. And he said, I think the national security strategy as it is not due for review because it's just been reviewed in 2019. Incidentally, I was one of the teams that reviewed the document. It's all encompassing and it is current. So it says, of course, don't forget that the document is solely owned by Nigerians. It is not owned by the military. It is not owned by the presidency. It is owned by every single one of us. And the procedure for writing or reviewing this document involves all key stakeholders of the country because there were several meetings. Now, speaking about this security issue as well, in Abuja, for instance, schools have been shut down because schools across the country have been placed on red alert. But specifically in Abuja, schools have been closed down because of incessant attacks, especially in the suburbs. And yes, so, the FCT has said schools should be shut down and students should stay home. Now, terrorists injured 3 in Abuja. And this is covered in the Punch, is also covered in the Vanguard, in the cable newspaper. And it's a serious matter because suspected terrorists on Sunday laid an ambush for personnel of the Presidential Guards Brigade while on patrol at the Buari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory. 3 soldiers were injured during the attack, and they are currently receiving medical attention. A military source told one of the correspondents that the troops engaged the attackers and successfully repelled them. Unfortunately, we're not hearing any report of anyone being killed or neutralized, as they like to use in military terms. But don't forget also that in the video that trended over the weekend, and as was covered in headlines of all the major newspapers yesterday, there were threats to kidnapping the president, threats of kidnapping the president, I beg your pardon, and kidnapping the Kaduna State Governor, El Rufai. And the threats were also issued on the victims still held. Now, what is even more saddening is the fact that in that entire camp where there are, captives held, you would find some families of 2, some families of 4. So some people were traveling on board that particular train when they were attacked by these terrorists, and all of them were carried away into captivity. So it's really sad. And, the federal government, as much as they like to say they're doing a lot, it doesn't appear so. And I just want to use this opportunity to say to everybody who's listening, if you haven't watched that video, I'm not going to encourage you to watch it, because it's quite heartbreaking. But all I'm going to say is just take our time to pray for these people, because it's unimaginable what they're dealing with. So say a prayer. Just say a word of prayer for them, for their families who are also enduring nights without sleep, and just whose source of income also have been tampered with, because some breadwinners have also been reported to be held there as well. All right, this is now concerning the 2023 census, and it's covered in the Vanguard as well. It says, don't count people by proxy, Abiodun tells MPC. Now, Ogun State Governor Prince Dakpo Abiodun has challenged the National Population Commission to guard against what happened during the 2006 census, where some people were enumerated by proxy, saying the commission should ensure that everybody is counted. And there's always been that to and fro, that back and forth conversation about the actual population of the country, population of the South or the North. And there have just been people who have said, the people in the North are not as many as, have been recorded in census and all of that. And that's because people are being counted in proxy. People are not allowed to go into compounds and count, people who are in the in those premises. So it's again, when someone comes out of their compound and tells you there are 50 women inside here and then there are 55 children or 107 children and there are about 47 men. And they tell you that that's what it is, but you cannot go inside and confirm. So, this is what has, given rise to this particular report saying, do not count people in proxy. Ensure that everybody's counted, and anybody who's not counted does not exist, I think. All right, into politics right now. APC won't win Rivers, says Senator Magnus Abe. And this is on the Punch. Now, former senator representing the Rivers South East Senatorial District, In the National Assembly, Magnus Abe has said the All Progressives Congress may have lost the needed steam to win any elections in 2023 following the recent gale of resignations from the party in the states. Now, Senator Magnus Abe said he dumped the main opposition party in the state because there was no future in the party. Now, in a statement issued by his spokesman, Parry Benson, said the future of Rivers State was more important to the people of the state than the pleasure of any individual. Now, in his recent awareness campaign, he said the former senator said the main objective of the project was to bring Rivers people together. Well, he went on to say that was why we launched the project SMA 2023. And he stated that it was the Rivers people that would determine who would become the next governor of the state and not the incumbent governor, Governor Nyesom Wike. And he explained that the governor himself has on several fora said the people of the state would decide who will succeed him. And I'll just quote him a bit here. He says, if the president of Nigeria, who is more powerful than the governor, cannot decide who will be the next president to succeed him, then the governor of Rivers State will not decide who will succeed him. That issue will be decided by the people of Rivers. And let me also quote the governor himself. He said on different occasions that he will allow the people of Rivers State to decide his successor. And I know him as a man of his word. And this is Senator Magnus Abe speaking. And as I said, I want to take your reactions. So bring them coming to me on social media, Super FM PH on Facebook. But specifically send them to Instagram at Super FM 93.3. And if you're not following us on Instagram, I don't know what you're waiting for. So yes, we have lots of very interesting conversations, and we'd like to interact with all of you on our social media platforms. So go follow us on Instagram at Super FM 93.3, especially on Instagram. All right, still in politics now. Obi replies Atiku, says, I look forward to completing my political journey of miracles in 2023. Peter Obi, who is a presidential candidate of the Labour Party, says he looks forward to witnessing the miracle of his winning the 2023 election. Now, he spoke yesterday during an interview, and he said, don't forget that on July 22, Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, said expecting Obi to win the election will be a miracle. It is very difficult to expect a miracle to happen simply because Peter Obi is in the Labour Party. After all, they were saying through the social media they had more than 1 billion votes in Osun State, and this is Atiku Abubakar saying. But reacting to the former vice president's comment, Obi said, since joining politics, his experiences have been filled with miraculous events. And he's quoted here saying, miracle is at the root of our faith. What strengthens our faith is miracle. For me, since I started this political journey, my achievements and records have all been miracles, and they have all been miraculous. If you check, I ran for governor in a party that was less than 1 year old. When I started in 2003, I won the election. They declared somebody else. I went to court. Everybody said it's impossible, that there is no way that it would have happened before, that it had never happened before. After 3 years, the court declared me the winner. I was sworn in. 6 months later, I was impeached alongside Fayose and Dariye. I went to court again, and I became the first governor to come back from impeachment. I was the first governor to win through the court, first to come back from impeachment. And he says I can go on and on and on. And in another report, Peter Obi tells his supporters, please allow me to respond to all the people who have anything to say about me. Leave them to me. Let me respond to them. Do not respond to them on my behalf. All right, quickly, let me do a recap of the stories that you will find on our social media to enable you join the conversation. And there are quite a lot of posts today. So stay tuned. It's the review, Super 93.3 FM Port Harcourt. My name is Obi Ivy, and let's just quickly take a look at all of the headlines that you would find on our social media. So I'm sure that by now you've left your comment on Instagram. I want to take it. Okay, so Abuja train kidnap, families of 41 victims protest, ground transport ministry. Federal government not sleeping. Minister speaks on efforts to rescue remaining Kaduna train passengers. And 4 Kaduna train passengers released after 119 days, now 120 days in captivity. ASU strike, electricity, bank, aviation workers join NLC nationwide protest. And wow. Okay, 3-day industrial action begins after nationwide protest, says Labour. So this is only the beginning from what they're saying. Maritime lawyers lament dearth of data in projecting maritime industry growth. Dana airs indefinite suspension. I am going to bring you, more details on this one, and I honestly want you to stick around for it. Now, 2023, APC won't win Rivers, says Magnus Abe. Lagos workers ready for solidarity protest, says NLC. Owo massacre left us with bitter pill. Ondo monarchs. Road to anarchy, ASU, Labour and solidarity protests. And this is a report that you would find on the Vanguard as well. Calabar landslide, Ekpeyong visits scene, provides victims with medical bills and accommodation. And that is the APC senatorial candidate of that particular constituency. And he says... he just went there, paid the bills of some of those who are being hospitalized, and just gave some provision to those who were badly affected by the landslide caused by erosion, flood, and torrential rain. And for those who are conversant or who know what the weather is like in Cross River State, that it rains in Cross River State perhaps much more than it rains in any other state in the country. It's almost always raining, One moment the sun is up, and without warning, it starts to rain. It's a unique weather that they have there, to say the least. And but it's a really beautiful place. Okay, road to anarchy. I already said that. Okay, pensioners lament arrears, say governors have no regard for them. INEC deadline, Sanwo-Olu okays 4 work-free days for Lagos workers to get their PVCs. Now, don't forget that INEC is insisting on the 31 July deadline, and anybody who doesn't go get registered between now and that time, you would be missing your right and your chance to vote. And in another report, in another headline, INEC is saying double registration becomes void. So take note, if you've registered before, please indicate to INEC officials on ground. All right, moving away from there now, ICPC moves to end illicit financial flows in private sector. Autumn to striking ASU, BSU, end sympathy strike or I'll stop your salaries. On ending banditry, don't review national strategy. Stakeholders should pull together, make it work, NDC. CVR, INEC insists on July 31 deadline, said double registration invalid. APC candidate missing as INEC publishes list of governorship contenders in Akwa Ibom. Obi replies Atiku, I look forward to completing my political journey of miracles in 2023. Peter Obi to supporters, allow me to respond to any presidential candidate who talks about me. I am behind Atiku, says Otom, amid row over PDP VP pick. We believe strongly in his nomination. Clerics explain their presence at Shatima unveiling. Lawyer sues Tinubu APC over Muslim ticket. Nigerians to pay more as bakers hike bread price by 20%. 3 soldiers injured as gunmen attack presidential guard troops. Coup. Credible 2023 elections in Nigeria will set right example for Africa, says President Buhari. 40 million people will be jobless. Motorcycle Association warns against Okada ban. And Census 2023, don't count people by proxy, Abiodun tells MPC. Price hike. Tribunal fixes September 6th to deliver judgment in suit against MultiChoice. Federal government develops framework to end hepatitis by 2030. Adeboye, authors extol Kumi's virtues in new book. And finally, Edo confirms 8 cases of monkeypox. What do you think about the stories? Now, let me give you a brief, just a short one here. brief details on the Dana Air indefinite suspension. Now, for the third time, the aviation sector regulator has indefinitely suspended the operations of Dana Airlines. And, you know, the carrier has had the unfortunate record of being accident-prone in recent history. Now, Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, Captain Musa Nuhu, on Wednesday, that was 20th July 2022, issued a statement freezing Dana Air's transport operating license, that is ATL, and Air Operator Certificate, AOC, sequel to the latest air return incident involving one of its aircraft at the Abuja airport. Now, the suspension was made pursuant to Section 3A, 3B, and 4 of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulations 2015. Now, the NCAA said the action followed an economic health audit and investigation of the airline's flight operations. Now, this is the thing. The operators of the airline have consistently shown their cavalier attitude to safety, which led to the deadliest air crash in Nigeria's history, and that was on the 3rd of June in 2012. Now, the MD-83 from Abuja en route Lagos crashed in the Iju area just 3 minutes to the Lagos airport, and all 153 passengers and 6 crew perished alongside unnamed number of fatalities on the ground. Now, don't forget that particular aircraft landed in town, in a neighborhood, in a very densely populated neighborhood. And of course, you know that Lagos State is like the most densely populated state in the country. And so that happened, and an unnamed number of people died. Now, the aircraft had suffered twin engine failures at that particular incident. Nigerians were shocked, however, when a few months later, Dana Airline returned to business. And people actually went and bought tickets, you know. And so, I mean, think about it. Now, if you look at the things that have happened, this same Dana Airline incident of mid-air engine shutdown happened again on October 6, 2013 in Port Harcourt. There was fuel leak on November 17 in 2015, also in Port Harcourt. There was collision with power line on June 3, 2012, Lagos. And there was runway excursion landing in January 23, 2019 in Port Harcourt. Others are runway overrun by 300 meters, February 20th in 2018. Loss of nose wheel steering on September 30th, 2019 in Owerri. Abortion of takeoff due to tire fire that was on May 2nd in Port Harcourt. And engine failure July 19, 2022, Abuja. And there were 100 passengers on board this particular flight. But thankfully, there was an emergency landing done and everybody came down unhurt. Well, we're hoping that, you know, this particular one, something happens, decisive action is taken by the aviation authorities to ensure that any airline at all whatsoever, it doesn't matter. If you've had such a history, why have you still been in business? Why have you still been allowed to be in business? Well, anyways, let's move away from this one right here. Phone lines are open, but I want to take your social media comments. I want to go on Instagram at Super FM 93.3 and take your comments. Don't forget that you can also send me a WhatsApp message or an SMS 09059481021. That is for text messages. If you also have a voice note to send, 09059481021. But on Facebook, it's at Super FM PH, and there are quite a number of those to take. All right, Victor Peba says, I think Magnus Abe is absolutely right. Rivers APC can't win election. Rivers APC is good in birthday celebration and burial ceremony, but to win election, they are not ready. Rivers people will decide who will govern Rivers State. I urge Rivers people to be wise this time around. We're not going to vote for party, but candidate that has track record, someone that has the institutional memory and that can solve our numerous problems. Thank you very much for your contribution. Away from that, now let's move on and see what we have. All right, Bro Ingi Dennis Kiedom says, good morning, OBIV. Lawyers sue Tinubu APC over Muslim ticket. Some of these lawyers are the problem of this country. What is wrong in choosing a Muslim candidate to fly the flag of a political party? Is election based on religion or competence? I just tire for some lawyers, honestly. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Vincent Dossi says, Senator Magnus Abe will win the governorship election in Rivers State because Rivers people know him and he knows them. He understands the needs of the people and has what it takes in providing the needed solution to the needs of the people. And the question I want to ask is, do we have room for independent candidates just yet? All right, Comrade Clinton says, top of the morning to you, Obi. Same to you, my brother. Lawyer sues Tinubu over Muslim ticket. Nigeria is a comic relief center. On what premise will this lawyer file his suit? The suit lacks merit, and I'm certain it will be thrown out in less than no time. Thank you very much. Your Gentle says, it is a glaring fact that APC won't win Rivers State. Senator Magnus Abe is very correct in that statement. APC Rivers is worse than Lagos PDP. You can call it a social club because all they do is attend burials, birthday wishing, and sewing Ashebi to welcome the leader at the airport. All right, thank you. Kone Barry says, APC won't win election, says Magnus Abe. Of course, that's the truth because APC doesn't have the tenacity to win elections. It's now a mere social club. All right, most of you are saying the same things. Okay, Kwate Magnus says will not win come 2023 is very correct. Political parties are vehicles through which politicians express their political aspirations. And as such, if one has turned into a mere social club for birthdays, wow. All right, Sira Barry Ged says, lawyers sue Tinubu over Muslim ticket. This strategy of the APC presidential candidate is indeed a problem to those who were patiently waiting for Tinubu to make a political mistake in choosing his running mate. Having disappointed them, they are now restless. Thank you very much. Okwando Obinna says, Obi, Magnus Abe should talk more about his unrealistic, failed and left-handed project SMA than talking about the APC winning River State come 2023, or go ahead entertaining the gullible. Hero Jephthah says, Abuja train, there is no security in Nigeria. We are just living by his grace. And this so-called APC administration is worse, more than Sodom in the Bible, but God is helping us. One day it will come to an end. What is the problem with INEC? They should leave this deadline of a thing, allow people to take their right and do the PVC from now till next year, January ending. That is their right. All right, thank you very much. All right, phone lines are 070-507-91021 and 08117431021. Super FM Port Harcourt.
Good morning, the very distinguished Oji. How are you doing this morning?
Very well, thank you so much, Mr. Ikere, yeah?
Yes, I remember Okere, very important.
Yes, please go ahead.
You know, when you are giving analysis, I always listen very carefully.
Well,
always doing the best for us.
Thank you so much.
Magnus Abe telling me that APC will not win Rivers. I think without Magnus even telling me, I'm already aware. There is nothing happening in APC. The only thing existing in APC is just the alphabet. But on the aspect of Magnus Abe, it's not all about speaking all the languages in Rivers State. On which political platform is he contesting? That he always say he will win. On which way is he going to win? They say follow who no road. You cannot continue to follow somebody without no destination. Where is he taking us? And which vehicle is he conveying us? I want to know, because he has been speaking all the languages, which for me is inconsequential.
All right.
Without a political platform, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Super FM Port Harcourt, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is John. I'm calling from Lagos.
Good to have you on the program.
I want to talk about the issue of ASU and their strike.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I think the best thing to do is just not paying them salary, because this is really less on the students. They are just Polish students in at home.
Okay.
Take the issue of they have money of going to acquire school. It's just to stop paying them salary, because they are not God.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Super FM Port Harcourt, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Comrade James Udonko.
Oh, so good to have you.
Africa.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Let me react on Abi. It's quite unfortunate that people are making claims, serious claims that are not basic, that are not reality on ground. When you come to the grassroots, when you call APC members to come out, when you call election, you will see thousands of people in various grassroots who are willing to vote for the APC, not because of Matrabi, not because of the party, but because of the leadership style of their leader, who have done so much for them while as a governor of the state.
Right.
And there are a lot of citizens to prove to that. Go and see the health centers, schools, the employment level at that time, the agricultural venture of River State, what the blueprint of River State today. What is the agricultural policy of River State today? What is the health policy of River State today? What is the, infrastructure policy? Human capital development policy of River State? You cannot talk about that.
All right.
So people understand where they were coming from, and they want to go back to that dungeon the way that were making them to be very happy and very excited. And River people were proud of today River State. You cannot talk to River State today because of the bad governance. So River people understand that. So
Okay.
that will come for APC. You know what happened to Awara? Just 24 hours for APC to shift their attention to support Awara. It was a whole over to the whole River State and in Nigeria that no party was able to hold the ruling party in the state. So I think all these fallacy and comments on social media will not discourage APC member not to do what is needful.
All right.
Thank you and God bless you.
God bless you too. Super FM Port Harcourt, good morning.
Good morning. This is Emmanuel calling from GRA.
Welcome to the program. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Concerning the what INEC brings out in Akwa Ibom State, the APC governor Sharon is missing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, all these some of our people, they want to use others as if they are fools. Somebody will be in a particular party. He also in a party. Even if the party is not on board in that particular state, in that particular country, because of the other person's name has already boomed up in his own party. Once you defer to your own party, you just give him ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Then you forget about all these people that have seen this party for a long time before this person comes.
All right.
These people, they always want to use people like a fool. So it's good like that. His name can never be in that. His name can never come out because it just depends from PDP to APC. They just give him tickets. What
All
people
right.
have been there for a long time fighting for the party.
Okay.
It's good like that.
Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you very much for joining me. And good morning, Super FM Port Harcourt.
Good morning to you, my lady.
The Real Gift. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Did you come to the story concerning my president?
Oh, your line is terrible. Your line is so bad. Real Gift.
Is it okay now?
It's still cracking. Can you just move a bit?
What about now? Is it better?
Yes.
Or you know
much,
better?
Much better.
You done better. Thank God now. Let's say charity they start for us. Please, did you capture the story of my president going to Liberia to give a lecture on security?
No, but a comment was made that I captured as well, and that was him saying that Nigeria's ability to have a credible election will set an example for the rest of Africa.
Talking about credible elections, what about the countries like Madagascar and what have you? Even the Liberia own and some other banana republics, in quote, now banana republics in quote, on the African continent, like Botswana, Namibia. You don't hear any time where they hold election and then people they go court from the beginning of the results.
But we may not know because we're not
But we
there.
do read all these things. We come across issues. Most of us who are this side of the divide, we keep ourselves abreast. For me, it should not count because you don't use the outcome of the morning market to conclude how the day's market will look like.
Right.
Make it never count. They tap in chest now. As for Magnus Abbey, the distinguished senator, for me, now I think come up for APC. Now I know say APC no go fit win the election for River State now. I think at this point in time, the good senator should tell me when, as a blind man, he added oil in my soup when he no put them. But he should not tell me then put salt when he no put salt for my soup. It's unfortunate at this point in time because at this point, the platform is he rolling on, please. Tell me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I cannot take any more calls. There's a program that's scheduled to come your way just now. And after that, we have a guest in the studio. Don't forget, we're going to be keeping track with the report. We're going to be keeping tabs with the protest that is ongoing. And there are reports also that the federal government has warned hoodlums to stay away from the protest. NLC has also issued such warnings. So if you don't have any business being a part of the rally or the protest or whatever, please do not be a part of it. All right, I apologize. I cannot take calls. My sincerest apologies. Okay, but keep the messages coming on social media, Super FM PH. Go on Instagram at Super FM 93.3. I will personally respond to you over there. Moving away from this right now, don't go anywhere. Quick music break. It be like say, and that's by Tu Baba.
We are the only radio station created to inform, inspire, and influence you. Super FM Port Harcourt.